Hey folks, I'm back with part two of my record day haul. Um, After I left the Better Days Records, where I got picked up the actual record store day items that I got, I went up to Great Escape because I knew they were having a big sale. 20% off in the store, and then later be 25-cent vinyl in the parking lot. This is the 20% off in the store part. Yeah, so I've got several albums, several CDs to show. Let's hop right to it. First, the John Butler Trio. Hard to describe this group. I guess they're kind of Americana, but almost jam band as well, and they rock. They rock pretty good. And yeah, they just kind of defy description. Good description, but or maybe I'm just inadequate in how I describe music. But great stuff. I enjoy a lot of the instrumental breaks, and now that I've listened to it a little bit closer, the lyrics are good, and anyways, it was playing on the sound system when I came in, and I asked about it. So when I went to check out, the lady said, "Hey, do you want to buy that CD? It's only $1." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." That's what the cover on the booklet looks like. But yeah, the John Butler Trio. I looked them up on Amazon. They've got some recent albums. I think they put out one last year. This one's, let's see. This one's 2007. So, good CD. Then I picked up Mahalia Jackson, Amazing Grace. Not sure if this is a pressing of an actual album or a collection. The liner notes aren't very. There isn't much content in the liner notes, and but either way, love some Mahalia Jackson, so picked it up since it was so cheap. And then I picked up this one. Mahalia Jackson sings America's Favorite Hymns. This does appear to be an actual album that was pressed to CD. It has the booklet is a lot more substantial, and it's on Columbia Records. Excuse me. Alright, so after picking up those Mahalia Jackson CDs, I picked up, of course, Janet Jackson. This is Rhythm Nation. Let me pull that out because of the sticker. I'm not the biggest Janet Jackson fan, but I do like this era. I need to get Control on a CD. I had a buddy of mine, we would crank up Control a lot. Yeah, I like the stuff that she did with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Next, I picked up Herbie Hancock. It's called Possibilities. I don't know much about this album. Herbie Hancock, of course, being the jazz piano icon. I don't know what's going on here. I'm eager to give this a spin. He has several guest artists on this album, like Paul Simon, Sting, Annie Lennox. A couple of my favorites are Johnny Lang and Joss Stone. Yeah, so that's Herbie Hancock. I never had seen this Bob Dylan CD before. Bob Dylan in concert, Brandeis University, 1963. Not real crazy about the little cardboard sleeve, but they did do a nice job with packaging it if they were going to put it in one, because I kind of dig that label. Almost looks kind of amateurish with the name being typed on there. Then the back of it looks like a concert ticket. That'll go good with my Dylan collection. Then Rush, All the World's a Stage. This is one of the Rush remasters. And I was happy to pick that up and expand my Rush collection a little bit more. Now on to the vinyl. Let's see here. They were a little out of order because I filmed this once and then got talking about something. Anyway, so I'm reshooting. So the first album I picked up was The Alarm. I believe this is their debut. It looks like an EP. There's only 5 songs on it. Here's the back. I really like this band. It's on IRS Records. I've never had this one. I've had quite a bit of their other albums, but not this one. So I was happy to pick that up. And we're going to do a lot of genre jumping as usual. Hymns by Loretta Lynn. I thought that was a eye-catching cover. I have quite a bit of stuff by her. The vinyl looked pretty decent to me. It's kind of dirty, but I can clean that up. It's on Decca. I don't see a year right away. Now, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm Dale McHenry on Facebook and Dolph Van Dale 12 on Instagram, and you've probably seen this album, Andre Crouch and the Disciples. This is Another Day. I gave this a spin earlier in the week, but this is not the copy. The copy I have had a few, it's a playable copy, but it's got a few pops and crackles. I looked at the vinyl on this and thought it could be an upgrade copy. It is. I need to look at the other one. I don't remember seeing the old light label on the other one. But I hope to clean this up and have one that's a little less, or a little more free of pops and cracks. And this album did surprise me when I spun it, because when I got in the credits, I saw that a couple of jazz guys played on this album. Michael Brecker on sax, it was one half of the Brecker brothers, and then Joe Sample on guitar. So, got another album that probably no one will recognize because it would be classified as contemporary Christian. Andrus Blackwood and Company. Sherman Andrus and Terry Blackwood were both members of the Imperials in the early 70s. Then they formed their own kind of pop group. It's a double album. I like this group pretty good, and just had to snag this. It's on Green Tree Records, which I always associate with another Christian artist named Dallas Home. There's the Green Tree label. But yeah, I thought I really couldn't leave that behind. And this is where I lost my mind on the previous video. The Alan Parsons Project. My stepbrother, who I'm not going to get into, but I really didn't care for him much, but he did have when I was little, he had a briefcase with all kinds of cassettes in them, and I know he had Alan Parsons Project. And I seem to remember liking them, so I thought, one, this is the Alan Parsons Project, I, Robot, so, I, Robot being a famous sci-fi movie, and I'm kind of a sci-fi guy, so I thought I would pick this up, give them a shot again. It, too, is a gatefold. And I know that the vinyl on this one there were two copies, and this was the one that had the vinyl that I thought looked pretty good. Looks like a kind of a custom inner sleeve, or custom ring. And so this came out, looks like 77. So I'm interested in giving that a spin. Now, I tell you, now my boy Willie found this, Willie Nelson, before his time. Apparently these were recorded at one point, and then Waylon Jennings and some other dude took this album back in and remastered it, and then they released it. So this is kind of some early Willie Nelson. It is on RCA. And I am really looking forward to getting this cleaned up. It's fun. I have quite a Willie Nelson collection. This one, yeah, it's great pickup. Bonnie Raitt, The Glow. What a great picture of her on the front. I don't think I've seen this album before, so I'm assuming it's a very young Bonnie. Yeah, there you go, original inner sleeve. Warner Brothers label. And then finally, the last album I picked up on the inside of the store. Picked this up. It was a good looking copy of Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love. Springsteen album I do not have. So it's original inner sleeve. And the vinyl looked really good. Of course on Columbia. And that concludes my in the store purchases. So I still have probably 2 more videos coming of quarter records, and I feel like I got some really neat stuff, and stuff that the condition looks pretty good. You would think all 25-cent records would just be beat to crap, but not in this case. So I'm looking forward to showing you those 2 stacks of records. And so until then, for me and for the Jakester, we're going to sign off and see you later.